At the beginning of the 20th century, women had a very limited role in society. They were expected to stay at home, take care of their families, and generally stay out of public life. But then the First World War came, and with it came an unprecedented opportunity for women. For the first time, women were given the chance to work in a wide range of civilian jobs, as well as in the armed forces. This was a huge step forward and something that was to have a lasting impact on the lives of women in the UK and beyond. The war was a chance for women to prove their worth and capabilities, and prove that they were just as capable as their male counterparts. Women worked in factories and shipyards, in hospitals and offices, and even in the front line. They were the backbone of the war effort, working in a variety of roles to ensure that the war effort was successful. This was a time of great change for women, and it was to have a lasting impact on their lives. As the war came to an end, so too did the opportunities for women in many industries. But the taste for work had been acquired, and women were no longer content to stay behind the scenes. They wanted to be seen, heard, and respected in the workplace and beyond. And so, women began to fight for their rights, pushing for equal pay and equal opportunities in the workplace. They also began to push for more autonomy in their personal lives, with laws being passed that gave women the right to vote and greater freedom in terms of marriage and divorce. Women had gotten a taste for work during the war, and they weren't going to let it go. The suffragette movement was a significant moment in British and Western history, driven by courageous and determined and possibly lesbian women who wanted to be seen as equals to men. The movement was formed by the Women's Social and Political Union, founded by Emmeline Pankhurst, who was determined to get the vote for women. Despite facing repeated opposition, the suffragettes campaigned tirelessly and gained support from the public. They used underhand tactics, such as mustard and milk bombs, arson, kidnap attempts, and whipping future Prime Minister Winston Churchill, to get their message across. Eventually, their efforts paid off in 1918, and the Representation of the People Act was passed, granting some women the right to vote. This was a major victory in the fight for gender equality, and proved terrorism does work. The following decades, women descended into the workplace with their newfound freedom. The poison was in the wound, and the wound remained ever open. Now that women had men's working lives, they wanted their sex lives too. Introduced in 1961, the contraceptive pill was hailed by women as a liberating force and a major advancement in reproductive health. However, with the introduction of this new technology, came the detrimental effect on human relationships. The biggest being the family. The contraceptive pill has taken away the sacredness of sex. By allowing couples to think they can have sex without the risk of an unwanted pregnancy, which has made the act of sex more commonplace and less special. This has demoted the father as the figurehead and breadwinner of the family, and caused an increase in single-parent households, which has led to an increase in poverty and a decrease in education and opportunity. Also, the pill has had a profound effect on the institution of marriage. By allowing couples to have unprotected sex outside of marriage, it has arguably eroded the idea that marriage is necessary in order to have children. This has resulted in the devaluation of marriage and the traditional family unit. It's not an understatement to say the impact of the contraceptive pill on marriage and family life has been devastating. But ladies, it's all worth it for a few more fake orgasms. Right? At the turn of the 20th century, family life was seen as the ultimate way of life. Men were breadwinners and women were homemakers. The idea of a single-parent family was unheard of. However, the last century has seen a massive shift in the way families are structured. In particular, the role of women has changed dramatically, and this has had a huge impact on the family unit. When women got the vote in 1918, it marked a huge shift in the power balance between men and women. This was just the start, as over the next few decades, women gained more and more rights, culminating in the Equal Pay Act of 1970. As women increasingly gained control of their own lives, they began to question the traditional family model. Many women began to choose not to settle down and have children, instead choosing to pursue careers and gain independence. This shift in the role of women has had a dramatic effect on the family unit. Where once family life was the norm, increasing numbers of women are now choosing to live independently, without a husband or children. This has had a profound effect on society, with family life no longer being seen as the only option. The impact of women abandoning the traditional family model has been profound. It has led to a decrease in family life, with more and more people living as single adults. This has led to a rise in social isolation, as people are less likely to have close relationships with family members. Women have been in politics for 100 years, and look at the state of the West in the year 2023. Look how far it's fallen. We are all now living with the consequences of women's fanciful actions. Women have a special ability to nurture and care for a family, unlike running a country which requires more logical thinking and decision-making. Women have a natural ability to be compassionate and empathetic, qualities that are invaluable when raising children and tending to a family. They are able to provide emotional support and understanding, creating a safe and loving environment for their family to grow and develop in. Women are also able to provide stability and security, creating a warm and welcoming home that is a safe haven for the family. Running a country, however, requires more logical thinking and decision-making. Women may not have the same ability to think logically and rationally as their male counterparts. This is because women tend to be more emotional and intuitive when making decisions, whereas men often make decisions based on facts and figures. It is clear that women are best at nurturing families and not running countries. Look at what they took from us. They have managed to erase a beautiful world, full of liberty and wonder. When the suffragettes started the movement, it was with the best intention. But I'm sure if they were alive today, they would look around in dismay at the Western world. Emmeline Pankhurst would turn to her daughter, Christabel, and say, "What on earth have we done? What have we done?"